Hello, my name is Carla Caceres, and this is my lesson plan for a basketball dribble. It's for a third grade class. The subject is manipulative skills. And in this lesson, students will learn how to dribble a basketball correctly around obstacles. The objective for this lesson is students will dribble a basketball around 6 cones without losing control of the ball, which means to dribble continuously. And they will perform the exercise 2 times by walking around 6 cones in one direction and then stopping, turning back, and going around the same 6 cones in the opposite direction. The standard for this lesson is third grade standard number 1. Students demonstrate the motor skill and movement patterns needed to perform a variety of physical activities. The skill is a manipulative skill, and the substandard is a hand dribble ball continuously while moving around obstacles. For students with disabilities, there's a few things that can be adjusted for them. For instance, maybe the number of cones and also the distance between them, just to meet their needs. The materials for this lesson are 24 basketballs, 12 cones. There's going to be 2 sets of 6 at a time for teacher to assess, and there is no technology needed. So the activity script that I wrote is boys and girls, today we're going to learn to dribble a basketball. And we're not just going to dribble, we are going to dribble around obstacles. So who's ready? Let me introduce you to the basketball. Who has touched a basketball before? You will get a basketball shortly to check it out. So the idea is to try to get the students excited about dribbling a basketball. Now to go outside, the students would line up at the door, wait for the teacher to walk out with them. The reason the students would go on a single line is because it's easier for the teacher being at the back of the line to monitor the class at all times until they reach their destination. So this activity would be ideal for in a gym, but if a gym is not available, then the playground is fine. I know that some schools do not have gyms, but the district that I work at, they do have gyms for elementary schools, and that's the reason why I suggest the gym. Now, walking to the gym, the class would walk to the gym in a single file. The reason why they would walk to the gym is because in an elementary campus, destinations are usually within walking distance. Warm-up exercises, they would be simple: leg stretches, arm stretches, and maybe some jumping jacks, just to get the heart pumping and get them ready to do some dribbling. Once we are at the gym or playground, I I think the students should assemble in a semicircle, and the reason is because it's easier to supervise them, to get their attention, but also to interact with them. Because if you put them in a circle and you give them your back, then it's difficult to supervise them. To introduce the lesson, um, I would introduce a basketball to the students and have them, once they have their own basketball, touch it, bounce it, and maybe just ask some questions about a basketball, whether they're familiar with it or if they've um, played with a basketball before, and also point out um, details about the ball itself, like the texture or the color. The teaching cues for this lesson is keeping the eyes up, use the palm of the hands, not the fingertips, and keep the ball like to your waist level, and keep it on the side for better control. The teaching location would be inside the gym, and once again, the students would be in a semicircle. The skills to demonstrate would be how to dribble a basketball correctly around obstacles using the teaching cues that we had previously mentioned. Now, the rubric is something that the teacher would use to um, mark the completion of the standard um, by observing the students whether they were able to meet the standard, almost meet the standard, or not meet the standard. And the criteria for the completion is right here on the bottom. To meet the standard, the students would have to complete the activity by dribbling around the 12 cones in both ways. To almost meet the standard would be 6 cones, and to not meet the standard would be not dribbling around at least 6 cones. For the guided practice, the teacher will demonstrate how to dribble the basketball correctly, and then ask the students to practice and dribble so they can get familiar and comfortable with the activity. For the independent practice, the teacher will ask the students to do a little bit more dribbling, maybe doing it in a circle, or just standing in place, just so that they can get a better control of the basketball. For the closure, the teacher will instruct the students to dribble the basketball around 6 cones, to turn around and do it again in the opposite direction without losing control of the ball by dribbling continuously. To collect the materials, the teachers would ask the students to stand in a single line, and also ask another couple of students to pick up the cones. And as they are in a line, they would start putting their basketball in the bag. The cool down exercises will be some leg stretches, arm stretches, and maybe some touching toes just to relax those muscles. Reassembling of the class is once again having the students in a single line so that the teacher can follow them back to the classroom. Back in class, teacher will acknowledge and celebrate the efforts of the students, and teacher will also get some feedback by asking questions about the activity. But most importantly, based on the rubric data, the teacher will determine if the lesson was successful or if it needs to be revisited. These are my references, just YouTube and some Google pictures. Thank you for watching.